Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
Samantha tried to kill me with this candle.
He supposedly has asthma and the candle.
Are you saying he's lying about the asthma?
I've never seen the asthma.
There was no way that she didn't know that this was a big deal, that a fragrance could kill me.
A fragrance could kill you?
Yes.
Doesn't that sound ridiculous, though?
Well, I don't have asthma. In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. You want him to pay $628.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, knock my socks off. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. The law talks about something may in fact be true, but can they prove it? And that's what's tough.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Terrence Lawton claims his ex-girlfriend intentionally lit a scented candle, knowing full well it would cause him to have an asthma attack. Mr. Lawton is suing Samantha Nathan in the amount of $1,100.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Third Deputy Thomas. Talk to me, Mr. Lawton. What's going on, sir?
So I feel as though Samantha tried to kill me with this candle.
I lit a candle, Your Honor. He supposedly has asthma and the candle.
Are you saying he's lying about the asthma?
I've never seen the asthma.
She knows I've had asthma, Your Honor.
How long were the two of you together? Because clearly you're not together anymore, right?
No, Your Honor.
8 months in a hole.
Okay.
About a year, actually.
Okay, sometime between 8 months and a year. You had never had any sort of asthma attack?
No, sir.
Was there ever any conversation about asthma?
There was. He told me that he couldn't have synthetic smells, anything that had a lot of aroma, and then he would bring it up whenever, like, I wanted to buy my brand of anything. Oh, we can't use that, that'll set off my asthma.
The reason why I'm asking this is because you knew it was something that legitimately was an issue for him.
Well, he always used it as an excuse. We couldn't go on hikes, we couldn't go to water parks, we couldn't do...
From the first time you met him throughout the duration of the relationship, was there a conversation about asthma on a frequent basis?
It was brought up frequently, yes.
Okay, so you didn't have any reason to think he was not telling the truth about the asthma?
I never saw proof of this asthma.
Your Honor, I have
Well, what
no
did you need him to
reason bring it up.
do?
I had never seen him use an inhaler. I never saw him cough in my presence.
Until she burned candles.
Did the two of you live together?
We did.
Yes.
How long did you live together?
6 months.
All right. And during the 6 months, did he always say to you, that is sensitive to me, this is sensitive to me in terms of smell and my asthma?
He wouldn't tell me the smell. He would just say, that will set off my asthma.
That will set it off?
Yes.
But you never saw anything?
But I never saw anything.
And you were insistent with her on a regular basis as it pertains to certain scents and odors and things like
Yes,
that?
Your Honor. I was always make sure that I was very firm in telling her that what was my triggers. I couldn't have any synthetic fragrance. You know, she would try to go out and buy different fragrances around the house that I wouldn't be able to use, and I would have to let her know that these was triggers. So
and this was on more than one occasion you told her about
yes,
this?
sir. So it was no way that she didn't know that this was a big deal, that a fragrance could kill me.
All right. A fragrance could kill you?
Yes.
Doesn't that sound ridiculous, though?
Well, I don't have asthma. Let's talk about the issue of the candle. Were there certain candles that you didn't have a problem with?
Yes.
Were you aware that there were certain candles that he didn't have a problem with?
Yes.
Do you like candles?
Yes, I love my house to smell great.
Okay.
So yes.
Did you bring candles into the home?
Not until this one instance.
Were there candles in the home while the two of you were living together?
Yes, we had
Okay.
his soy wax candle in the
All
bathroom.
right. So there were candles available, but they were the type of candles that would not trigger his asthma.
Yes.
And you would burn those candles. And did they have a scent to them?
Yes.
I didn't think so.
The scent was milder than what you would have liked.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
All right. And this went on for 6 months in terms of you can buy this, but you can't buy this, and back and forth. Now, at some point, the two of you are no longer together, but you're still cohabiting.
Yes, Your Honor. When we broke up, we knew that because we kept fighting with each other.
All right.
We would get on each other's nerves, so we felt
You guys
as though
weren't getting along. It happens. There's nothing wrong with that. My question is, why did you guys continue to cohabit?
We were both on the lease.
Okay. And?
Me personally, I thought that she would do the mature thing and find a place that was suitable to her.
Or you could have done the man thing and said, you know, as the lady, I'm gonna let you stay and I'll be a little inconvenienced. You didn't do that.
No, yeah.
Did you want him to leave?
I did. After finding some unmentionables from one of his dates in my bed, he had been sent to the couch.
Wait a
I kept
minute.
the bedroom.
How many bedrooms?
One bedroom.
So you're in a one-bedroom apartment, and you start dating and bringing women there?
Yeah, 'cause we were no longer together. I feel
Oh, that's
so.
just stanky.
We made a dating arrangement so she would have the house on Mondays.
Oh, you were bringing
Mondays,
guys over
Wednesdays,
too?
and Fridays.
Not often.
That's a yes.
That was a yes.
If there's a one-bedroom, there's one bed. Who's sleeping in the bed on a daily basis?
Me, Your Honor.
Where are you sleeping?
I'm on the couch.
Coming up on America's Court.
I smell something, but that's not a home-cooked meal. I figured she must like them. She never cooked for me. So I say something about it. She kind of shrugged it off like I cook. Little did I know she didn't cook. She tried to kill me.
And later,
I saw that he had his pop-up shelter set up within 15 feet of the proximity of my ice house.
He pushes me.
And he shoved me back.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Terrence Lawton, who is suing Samantha Nathan for medical expenses.
Neither one of you are respecting each other. But you both expect to be respected.
Yes.
And that's why we're here, right?
Yes.
Because the bottom line is you feel as though she disrespected you by a candle that caused you to have a reaction.
Yes.
And what was the reaction that you had from the candle? Because you decide you're gonna go buy a candle. Mm-hmm. Even though you know he's still living there, and even though you know that candle scent.
He wasn't supposed to be there that night. I was gonna
But he
air the
still
place
lives there.
out. He wasn't supposed to be there.
He wasn't supposed to be there the night that you brought this candle
Yes.
in.
I had texted him saying, I'm having a date night. Could you please respect the apartment? I was going to cook dinner for my new boyfriend,
Well, you didn't
Chris.
need to do that because I take it this was a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Yes.
So why were you there anyway if that's her nights?
I was going back to the house to get my boxing gloves.
You had left.
Yes, I had left and I came back, you know what I'm saying, because I left him over there earlier.
And when you came back, she was entertaining.
She was in there, but I didn't bother them. I went straight to my room, and when I was grabbing my boxing gloves, my mom called.
My room.
Right, because the room with the bed is, no, you guys aren't together. There is no more we.
But all our clothes is in the one room. I have to go in the room to get the clothes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I went in the room to get the boxing gloves, and my mom called me to update me on my father's health issues. So I had to spend more time. I couldn't rush off the phone, so I booked my training for a little bit later. And I stayed in there for maybe a good extra 45 minutes when I heard banging around in the kitchen.
Oh, when you were there, you didn't even realize he was there?
I didn't know he was there, no.
Okay. And then you're in there in the kitchen, but you hear her, so you know she's there.
Yeah, so I hear banging around the kitchen, but I smell something, but that's not a home-cooked meal. I figured she must like them. She never cooked for me, so, she must be.
What does that tell you?
She must be doing something right.
Right? And so you burn this candle. You don't know he's there.
So I had been driving home, and on the radio I heard that the smell of pumpkin pie makes women seem more attractive to men. So I grabbed a candle on my way home. I lit it. I took the food that I had ordered.
Why are you trying to be attractive to him in the apartment as opposed to going to his apartment and taking that pumpkin candle?
Well, we had been dating, but we weren't official yet, so I was trying to set some nice ambiance for him to be like, hey.
But you know he has a problem with certain scents. And you come in and what? You choke off the smell of the candle?
Yeah, I come out the room because I'm smelling the smell. I never thought so. She never cooked for me, like I said. So I leave out at the room. I see them booed up on the couch, which is my space.
They booed up, huh?
Booed up in my space.
I hate when I see my ex booed up.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there, that's my space. So I say something about it. She kind of shrugged it off like I cook. Little did I know she didn't cook. She tried to kill me.
Why do I need to know that? She cooked. What does the cooking have to do with the candle?
Because that's what I thought the smell came from, the food, but it was the candle that was burning.
Okay, and
when it was messing with my asthma. So I tried not to really argue with it. I just went to the gym.
Okay.
And one of the trainers there seen me having an asthma attack, and the hospital was close by.
When's the last time you had an asthma attack?
Probably in high school.
How old are you now?
I am 22.
Okay. So at least 4 to 5 years ago.
Yes.
You had to go to the hospital?
Yes.
Is this money the bills for your hospital?
Yes.
You have proof of that?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look. All right, Miss Nathan, you give me a reason why you shouldn't have to pay the hospital bills knowing that you were put on notice about his condition.
So I feel
And knowing
like,
that he lives there.
I
And
feel
knowing
like,
that candle odors remain even after they are burned.
so I assumed he would be
You know what happens when you assume.
Yes. I assumed he'd be an adult and be able to manage his medical condition on his own, that he would carry an
How
inhaler.
would he have the foresight to know what to do if you had an impulse to buy a candle being put on notice that he had a problem with certain scents?
If he knows he has an asthma attack every once in a while, I feel like he should carry
he
a
hadn't had
preventative
an asthma
measure.
attack in 4 to 5 years, and your own testimony was you had never seen him have an asthma attack,
Yes.
which is what made you think that maybe this isn't even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hadn't seen it in the 8 to 12 months that you all have been together,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't had an attack, and he's telling you certain things give me pause to have an attack, and you buy a candle, and he's already told you you can't buy certain things as long as I'm still living here, then you're put on notice.
She knew this was a big deal.
Sir, I don't need your help.
My apologies.
Okay, I got it. So you want her to pay because you felt she, in this particular instance, did not exercise a reasonable duty of care for her roommate.
When I got to
Anything else you want to say?
I still think he should have had an inhaler on hand for an emergency situation. He's not always going to be in the apartment.
Would he have needed the inhaler if the candle wasn't there?
No, sir.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down in favor of the plaintiff. Now, if you didn't know anything about his condition and he just happened to have a situation come up, that's a whole different thing. But for at least 6 months, you had noticed that certain things could cause him to have a reaction. You will pay Mr. Lawton $1,100. That is the order. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,100.
I got what's due to me. I got my money, my health, and I got my apartment all to myself.
So I still believe that Terrence faked that asthma attacks because he was jealous of my new relationship, but I'm happy to give him the $1,100 so I can move on with my life.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
He destroyed my portable outdoor fishing shelter.
Well, if you were a real ice fisherman, you would have a real fish house.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Mitchell Bennett claims he got into a scuffle on a frozen lake and says his portable ice fishing shelter was ruined as a result. Mr. Bennett is suing Brandon Norris in the amount of $500.
Mr. Bennett, you want $500 because something happened while you were ice fishing.
Well, I have a fish shelter. It's a pop-up shelter that I bring to the lake to ice fish.
How long have you been ice fishing, sir?
2.5 years.
Mr. Norris, you also ice fish, sir?
Yes, sir, for the last 45 years.
What's your issue, sir?
Well, my issue is that he destroyed my portable outdoor fishing shelter. Right
I'll take a
here.
look
There's
at that.
picture of it.
What does that do for you, sir?
It's sort of like a tent. And you build a hole. There's a space where you can cut in.
So you can access the water
Yes, sir.
that's
So
on
you-
the lake.
Yes, sir.
You sit there just by yourself and fish for how long?
Well, I was there for a couple hours when he came along.
Okay, Mr. Norris, what about you? Do you also have a pop-up that you...
No, sir, I have a wooden fish house that was built by my grandfather and has been passed down through my grandfather to my father to me.
What's the difference between, let's say, a pop-up and a wooden house?
Well, if you were a real ice fisherman, you would have a real fish house. You're not supposed to have another ice house within 50 feet of
Now, is
an
that
already
a courtesy
set.
or is that a law?
It's a law.
It's a law.
It is a law,
You have
yes,
proof
sir.
of that?
I have a document here.
You have a document. What's your document, sir?
This is basically a document describing fishing hole protocol, basically.
You have two things highlighted. Fish houses may be placed no closer than 50 feet in any direction from another house.
Yes, sir.
Without consent of the other fish house occupant.
Coming up on America's Court.
He pushes me.
I shoved him.
You shoved him.
And he shoved me back, at which point he lost balance, stumbled back, and crushed his pop-up fish shelter.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Mitchell Bennett, who is suing Brandon Norris for property damage.
Did Mr. Bennett plant his pop-up within 50 feet of you?
Yes, sir. Basically, I arrived the next morning after I had set my fish house to find him within 15 feet of my fish house.
You had to have seen that
Yeah,
wooden
yeah,
tent.
I saw the house. Yeah,
How
yes, sir.
close would you say you were to his wooden
Well,
fish
I
house?
built the whole
10 feet? 20
15 feet.
Why did you have to be so close to him?
Well, it's a good
Especially
question.
when North Dakota says you have to be at least 50 feet away.
Yeah, yes, sir. There is another rule. I had handed the officer a form.
It says licensing of fish houses is not required in North Dakota. Okay? But you made it a point to bring to my attention this language here. Any unoccupied fish house must have an equipment registration number issued by the Game and Fish Department or the owner's name and either address or phone number displayed outside. Did you have your name or a license on your wooden fish house?
It was on the premises, but it was not displayed outside, sir.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. It says, any unoccupied fish house left on the ice without this identification may be removed or destroyed by the department. So then the two cancel each other out, because I have two violators,
Well, sir,
and I have two people that feel as though their position is right, which leads me to what happened.
I arrived and I saw that he had his pop-up shelter set up within 15 feet of the proximity of my ice house.
he pushes me.
I shoved him
You shoved him.
and he shoved me back. At which point
You
he
shoved
lost.
him and he shoved you back.
Yes, sir. At which point he lost balance, stumbled back, and crushed his pop-up fish shelter.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. Promotional consideration provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
You destroyed your pop-up.
Yes.
You wanted him to pay $500.
That's all I'm asking.
You both cancel each other out because I have two rule breakers. Now I have a person putting their hands on another person, and that person sustaining injury as a result. So the person who sustained injury, are they entitled to be compensated? That's the legal question. And based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel must and will come down in favor of the plaintiff because you put your hands on them. Keep your hands off of someone else, and if you are going to enforce the rules, be prepared for it to go both ways. That is the order. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $500.
I thought his fish shelter was empty. If he didn't get aggressive, none of this would have happened.
Maybe he'll take this money and buy a real fish house.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.